Welcome back, everybody. My name is Taylor Martin. This is the best damn EDC, and today I have a little bit of a fun but also educational video for you guys. And today I'm talking about titanium anodizing. I've done it a lot over at Rick's shop, and I have known for a while how to do it, but I've never been able to do it on my own. Now I want to be able to do this stuff at home in my own shop, so I figured if I'm getting the setup ready, I might as well explain to you guys how you can do it at home as well. And it doesn't have to be this whole big setup. You don't have to get any equipment really. You can do it with something as simple as 9-volt batteries and some aluminum foil. So it's actually quite simple, but you can do it a little more professionally, which I plan to do because I'm going to be doing it on a larger scale and selling products that I'm going to be modifying. So with that said, this is how to anodize titanium at home, and let's do the damn thing. Before we go any further, I want to thank our sponsor for this video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes where you can learn new skills in your free time. And these classes, taught by experts and industry leaders, allow you to learn that skill you've always wanted to as leisurely or as fast as you want. And if you want to learn more than one thing, that's okay too. With Skillshare, there is no limit to the number of classes that you can take. For example, I get a lot of questions about how to take better photos, but I never learned the proper way to do much of anything, especially photography. Probably should. And Skillshare is the place to do just that. From everything from photography to videography, design, modeling, business, and everything in between, Skillshare has it all. Lately, since I've been designing some of my own stuff, I've really been enjoying this incredible class, Learn Fusion 360 in 30 Days by Kevin Kennedy. It's been really great because while I have some rudimentary skills in CAD and 3D design, I've not only been learning the easier ways to do things, but also the right way to do them. If you want to get your learn on and join the millions who already use Skillshare, the first 1,000 viewers who sign up using my link in the description will get a 1-month free trial to Skillshare and access to thousands of amazing courses. So go ahead, click the link in the description down below and start learning today. And once again, I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. So to get started, you're going to need a couple of things. The first thing that you need to be concerned with is cleaning your part. You need something like acetone or a degreaser. Isopropyl alcohol works just fine, or something a little more serious like an ultrasonic cleaner. I have some simple green down in there, which is a degreaser. Really, all you need to do is make sure that you can get the cleanest surface possible. You want to get all those oils and greases off. Oils from your hands will affect what the output will look like, so you want to make sure all of that is gone. That's why you're also going to wear gloves. Other than using chemicals, you want gloves to keep the grease and oils off of the part, keep it clean. So since we talked about it, we also are going to use an etch. This is going to do kind of the same thing, but it's actually going one step further than just removing the grease and oils. This is an etchant, so it actually will remove the oxidization from the surface layer of the titanium. So this is anodized, purple, magenta, fuchsia, whatever. If you dunk this down in there, this will go back to close to its original color. So you can do that by bead blasting, right? You're just knocking all that off, but you can do it with Whink as well. So this etchant, you don't have to use Whink. This is something you can get at a store. I got this at Ace Hardware this morning. It is some pretty potent stuff, but it's easy to find and it's relatively affordable. I cut this 50-50 with water, but you can get this at the hardware store and this works perfectly fine. However, I would say most people who are doing this professionally are probably using Multi-Etch. This is something you get specifically from a company. You have to buy this directly from this company, Multi-Etch, and you have to mix it yourself and make it at home, but this is also just as good. This is what Rick uses, and I'd say most people, Whink is gonna work just as well, if not better, for certain applications. I don't know, maybe for a setup like this, Whink is what we're using because this works better at temperature. I have a water bath over here that we could use this with, but I just kind of ran out of room. So Multi-Etch is just as good. Whink is going to work, but for ease of use today, we're going to use Whink. This one is just a bath with distilled water in it. So after you rinse it from any of these, we're just kind of rinsing off, and then any acids that may be left on it will be neutralized in the electrolyte bath, which we're getting to next. But this is just kind of a middle step where you can rinse off in here just to some distilled water. But this is where the magic happens. This bath right here is an electrolyte bath. I have baking soda in here. So this is just distilled water and baking soda. I don't know the mixture. I just kind of mixed it until I got good results. Borax will also work. You're just creating an electrolyte bath. It doesn't matter too much. You might get better results with one or the other. I haven't experimented a whole lot with it. But then you have this. This is gonna be your cathode. So you're gonna clip this to the side of this container and have it, make sure it's submerged in the bath. And then you're gonna connect your negative lead to the cathode. Then you have an anode. This is also a piece of titanium. You can use this right here as well. This is some titanium wire, 18 gauge. You can go a little thinner than that, heavier than that, really whatever you wanna do. You just need something that is gonna be conductive. Titanium wire works really, really well. This is just a titanium rod that Rick gave me. So you connect your negative to the cathode, your positive goes onto the end of this one, clips there, and then you're gonna hang whatever you're anodizing on this and dunk it in the bath. That's the whole process. That's it. That's it. Set your voltage, cathode, anode, dunk, and you're done. There's some fine tuning to it, but that is the gist. And all of this other stuff is prep work to make sure you're getting the best surface possible for the best outcome possible. Pretty simple for the most part. So let's anodize some stuff. Also, I guess before we get started, a little bit of PPE. You are using chemicals here, things that can splash, dunking and tanks and stuff. So glasses are a must, as well as some hand protection in gloves. These are both to protect your skin from the acids that we're using, but also if you clean off a part in the ultrasonic cleaner and then you touch it with your hands, you're gonna get the oils right back on it. And my glasses are fogging. And that's gonna undo the progress that you've made. So you wanna protect both the part from your oils and your hands from the chemicals. Maybe this was a prototype. I don't know, but this is a JRW Tough Clip and we are gonna anodize it. So starting, we are going to put it in this ultrasonic bath. I don't need to do anything special for this. We are just going to drop it in the bath and turn it on for 1 minute. So we're gonna get it out of this bath. These tweezers are tough. Drop it there, and then we're gonna get it on this rod. So next we're gonna be doing our etchant and our bath. Let's rinse first. And then we're gonna etch. So we're gonna go, I do have these right? Okay, so now we're gonna go down into the Whink. And it doesn't take long. It's just a few seconds. At some point it will start bubbling and then you're gonna know that you're probably pretty good. And since we're not fully set up with our power supply, I'm gonna dunk it one more time and rest it over here on this napkin. So as I mentioned before, we have our negative lead going to the cathode. So make sure you have a good connection there. And we're putting the positive lead here on this rod. And then we're gonna turn this power supply on and we're gonna select the voltage. I am gonna go with like a blue. And then there's a chart online that you can, there's a bunch of different charts, but there's charts online that you can reference for what voltages are going to translate to which different colors on the titanium. It's gonna vary based on your setup and what your electrolyte bath is like and what your power supply is like. Everything is gonna affect that a little bit, so take it with a grain of salt and err on the side of a lower voltage if you're not sure, especially if you're just getting started with your setup. Because you can always increase the voltage to change color, but you cannot go back unless you start all over. You have to etch it again or bead blast it again just to remove that oxidization. So it's easier and better to start with a lower voltage first. So if we're going blue on this, I'm gonna start at about 25. And this is it. Just make sure you don't touch the cathode with the anode because you're gonna get spots on the titanium. It's gonna spark and that's not what you want. But basically you just dunk. And you're gonna watch your voltage. So the voltage is creeping up. It dropped because we're using kind of a bigger part here and we're running through a surge protector. But then you're gonna watch for your amperage to kind of stabilize a little bit. And that's when you know that you've kind of reached the point that it's gonna not anodize anymore. And that's kind of important to watch as well. If you're anodizing a bunch of parts together and you're trying to color match everything, you wanna either do them together or make sure that you're pulling at the same amperage. So this is not super vibrant. It's kind of like a blurple. I want to go a little more vibrant than that, so we're going to take it up to probably about 30 and try it again. And this is the thing, right? We started low, we can always go higher. And that is blue. The color will change as it dries. It will usually become a little more vibrant. So you can see that here in this part that it's blue, and as it's drying, it's getting a brighter blue. Can you see that? No? This one is probably gonna have some variance in colors. I didn't really try that hard to clean off the surface super well. And this is a good example of what happens when you don't clean that surface. You get spots, and different finishes are gonna anodize better than others or have more vibrant colors. Like a raw machined finish, like this right here, will turn out way more vibrant than something that's bead blasted. That's just the nature of having something raw machined versus blasted. You have a matte finish, it's gonna have a different color to it. Now, here's something that in a lot of these tutorials people don't mention. We just anodized this blue, correct? Yes, that is correct. We're gonna take this from blue back to pretty close to its original color just by dipping it back in Whink. So we just dip it in. It's going to reverse the process that we just did. Take a little bit longer than before because we're removing oxidization. And now it's no longer blue, it's gray. So you can undo your work, right? That's the tip that I'm trying to convey there. However, on this one, for example, that GRW was gold before from the lasering, and now it's silver. It will remove that as well. So just beware. If you do this, there are some things that won't go back to how they originally were. Since we talked about this pin already, why don't we anodize this thing? We can take off this bolt, which would be cool to anodize with it, but we're gonna leave it just for the sake of it right now. And we're gonna take off the clip, because we're gonna anodize that a different color. If the clip might be stainless, I don't know. Just got to get all these inner parts out. And now we are going to dunk this in the cleaner. Run it for 1 minute this time. So remove that from the cleaner. And this time, since this pin tube is a little narrow for this rod, we're going to use the titanium wire I have. We're going to clean it really quickly. And then we are going to etch it. So now, being careful not to let this pin drop off of this wire, we are going to do this process one more time. So I'm going to explain it again. We are taking the negative lead and attaching it to the cathode right here. The positive lead is going onto the anode, being this titanium wire with the pin on it. And then we are going to select a voltage. What color should we take this to? What color you want? You want to try to push it and go green again? You want to go green? Okay, this is going to be a little tricky. It's really high voltage, and these don't always turn out great. So we're going to try our best. This might be splotchy. The only way to really get this right is to really do it in a proper setting, and this is not a proper setting. Greens are tough, but we're going to take it up to 90. And dunk. We're going to hope for a nice solid color. We're at blues. We're only at 38. Got a long way to go. That screw in the very end does not look like it's titanium. We're only at 40 volts. Oh, stabilized. Whoa, that's not what I was hoping for. Okay, so that did not work out as I hoped. So we are going to take it back. We're just going to dunk it in the Whink. Take it back down and try again at, this time, 95 volts. So we got this in the Whink. This was purple blue a second ago, and it's going all the way back to gray. You see that change happen in real time. It's kind of got a little blue to it. You don't want to leave it in there too long, or it will ruin the surface on your piece. Maybe even pit it. So we're gonna put that in the bath. We had to take this thing apart because it wasn't anodizing at the right rate. in my opinion. It wasn't even, and it wasn't even getting up to voltage. So now we are going to take this thing to 95 and going in. Should happen pretty quickly. We're seeing color shifts. It's exactly what you want. Yellow, magenta, very vibrant. That's what we want. It's going for it this time. Get there, come on. Come on, get there. All right, that's at 95. Look at that. That's cool. We're going higher. We're gonna go 98. All right, this should make it pretty green, I think. So at 98, let's see what happens. We're getting a nice green this time. Not green, and it's not fully solid. These higher voltages are tricky, man. Really tricky. So that's pretty green, but there's a whole lot of color shift in there. Look at that. Like I said, the color will change a good bit after it dries. It'll become a little more vibrant. It's pretty sick, honestly. I'm a fan of that. Look at that. Let's turn this off. Okay, so the clip. Let's try to get the clip. So we're gonna get both of these parts on this same rod and hit the same exact voltage, being 98, and see if we can get all this to color match. Probably not, but we're gonna try. Looking kind of blue to me, not green. And that's the trouble with trying to color match with different parts, different sizes. Actually looking pretty close on this piece. This piece is very, very close in color, but that clip is more of a purple. It's interesting. That must be a lower grade titanium on the clip or something. Maybe. I don't really know. So you know what? We're gonna try a different color on the clip. Etch it again. Etch away. Let's go 20 first. Looking kind of blurpily bronze, which is actually probably about right for 20 volts. 30 volts. There. Kind of blue, actually. That's what I needed. That's it. I hit blue. Cool. 30 volts. All right. We're going to try. I didn't do this bolt on here because it's so small and you can't get a piece around it. So we're going to try to loop this wire tight enough around it that it will stay in place. It's going to be kind of tricky. We kind of have to do it like this so it stays in the loop. So let's see what happens. So we're gonna etch and hit it at 30 volts. See if it's gonna anode. Boom. Quick. Nice. So there you have it. That's a green Big Idea Design bolt action mini with a blue clip and bolt. Pretty damn cool. Even if it did give me some hell, I'm digging it. I think that's cool. Very bright, very vibrant. So there you have it. That is how you anodize at home. It's actually a pretty simple process. And like I said, you can do it with something as simple as 9-volt batteries in series. You just have to do the math to figure out how many 9-volt batteries you need to hit the colors that you want. Some of the higher voltages are going to be a little out of reach and you're going to get varying results, but it is something that you can do at home with pretty simple materials, right? You can get all of this stuff at a hardware store. So you can do this at home yourself quite frugally if you want to just tinker with recoloring some of your knives. If you're bored with them, you can give them a new facelift or turn your old boring gray pen some green and blue color that kind of changes in different light. It's cool, it's fun. But I am gonna get a little more in depth in time and showing you different ways to finish different things, how you can paint anode on and do camouflage patterns and cool stuff. But this is just a little introduction to anodizing. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below and what else you'd like to see in terms of modifying. And that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching. All the links for everything I talked about in this video, as well as some of my favorite gear and everything, is going to be in the comments down below. If you click through and use any of those links to buy anything, it will help support the show by giving us a little bit of a kickback. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but you can also go to patreon.com/bestdamnedc if you want to support there. That's it. Thank you once again, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, carry on.